The following footage was uploaded to the YouTube channel Urbex Ontario in December of 2024. In the video, a man named Owen was exploring a pet food factory in a remote part of Michigan, when he unexpectedly encountered something that sent him running for his life. Owen, who regularly documents his visits to abandoned locations, set out to explore the factory with a few of his friends. During the initial minutes of their exploration, they spotted several security guards patrolling the property. But fortunately for them, they managed to remain hidden and undetected, eventually entering the building without being spotted. For approximately the next 10 minutes, they continued to investigate the factory, and apart from the guards that they had seen earlier, everything seemed to be going quite smoothly for the explorers. They then decided to leave that section and chose to check out the upper levels. However, as they were walking through that section, that's when they stumbled upon something extremely disturbing.
Gotta be very careful because this is open and security could be right outside. They're doing rounds around the building, so we have to be very careful here. Wow. Let's go up these stairs and see what's up here. So, we have like an office area. Jeez, what was that? Was that you, Carlo? God. Making a lot of noise, so we gotta be careful. I see a door here. What the heck? So I think somebody's been squatting in here. Somebody's definitely been squatting in here. It looks like somebody's been squatting in here.
Yeah, well, wait till you see the freaking bedroom in here.
There's like fresh flowers here. That is sketchy.
Yeah.
Somebody's been in here.
And his knife is here too. Dude, look at
There's a bed. What the hell?
the bed. We got couches.
We're in the middle of like one of the machines right now.
This is like an exhaust machine.
Yeah.
Dude, his shoes are still there. Look.
Okay. This is a scrapper. They're taking the coffee.
Oh, his flashlight is on. It just turned on by itself.
And the scary thing about this is this guy could come back at any moment. So what I'm worried about is that I don't know where that tunnel back there goes. That could be another way out that he could use to go in and out.
As the explorers ventured into the ventilation ducts, they were immediately taken aback by what looked like a makeshift room crammed with a variety of items. Their initial discoveries suggested this space belonged to a scrapper, given the presence of various power tools, a flashlight, and even a knife, all indicators of someone salvaging materials. Intrigued by this unexpected discovery, the explorers decided to remain inside the room, spending several minutes meticulously examining the contents and trying to piece together the story behind this hidden space. However, their investigation was abruptly interrupted when they suddenly heard a loud bang coming from the vents nearby, and before they could fully process the sound or identify its source, they spotted a strange man rapidly approaching them.
He's looking right through.
The flashlight is still on.
Yeah, I'm not touching it.
Glasses, book,
What the frick? Can you know that?
screwdrivers and stuff. Is that a walkie-talkie or something there? Do you guys hear that? Do you hear that?
Yeah, there's something out there.
There's... Oh my god. Do you hear that? Is there somebody here? Oh crap. We gotta get out of here.
Take point.
Can we go that way or?
No. Let's go. Let me see.
We gotta get out of here. I think somebody might be in here.
Look at what's going on us. Hello?
What's that? What's that? What's that?
Go.
Oh shit, there's somebody there. Go, Carla, go. Go. Oh my god, there's somebody there. Run. Get out. Oh shit, he's coming. Carla, run. Get out. Should we hide in this other building or where should we go?
As soon as the explorers spotted the man aggressively banging on the window, they immediately took action, fleeing the scene and making their way out of the building. However, despite their retreat, the man, seemingly fueled by an unrelenting determination, continued his pursuit and relentlessly chased after them. The explorers, seeking refuge, then sprinted out of the building and hid themselves within the warehouse for several critical minutes. Fortunately for them, the individual appeared to have stopped the chase at some point, as he did not pursue them into the warehouse. Although the trio was understandably startled by this chilling encounter, they still chose to continue exploring the site for an additional 15 minutes, but they wisely avoided the factory where they had been chased out earlier. During this extended period of exploration, they did not encounter the individual again, and the overall atmosphere had significantly calmed down. They ultimately decided to end their exploration and successfully managed to leave the building. Nonetheless, the explorers were incredibly fortunate that day, as they were able to outrun the man, and they managed to escape a potentially dangerous situation without sustaining any major injuries. In November of 2025, a YouTuber named Devin uploaded a video titled "Exploring an Apocalyptic Abandoned 1980s Mini-Mall" to his channel, Dark Exploration Films. Devin's channel is known for its authentic storytelling and respectful approach within the urban exploration genre. With over 500,000 subscribers, he has documented his visits to abandoned locations for decades, emphasizing the genuine history and details of the neglected places he visits. In this particular video, Devin decided to explore an abandoned shopping center known as the Erie Plaza, situated in Elmira, New York. Established in 1983, the Erie Plaza was once a bustling shopping destination in New York. However, it experienced a gradual decline over the years, as businesses struggled and eventually either left or were forced to close. This decline was accelerated by a major fire in 2021, which forced the final remaining stores to shut down, ultimately leading to the plaza's abandonment. Since its closure, it has sadly become a hotspot for criminal activity, resulting in significant safety concerns stemming from the growing presence of homelessness and associated crime.
Property owner who owns this, he doesn't allow police onto the property for some reason, and people from this neighborhood right behind me have reported people on the roofs, neighborhood kids, drug dealers, people doing drugs. There's a lot of shady people hanging out in the shopping center, and the property owner and the police don't really do anything about it. So it's kind of left like just no man's land, like a lawless part of this community.
But despite these challenges, Devin acknowledged its history and potential, and with an optimistic spirit, he set out to investigate this abandoned plaza. As Devin began his exploration, he initially walked around the property to familiarize himself with the area, but also to make sure that there were no squatters or homeless individuals currently residing inside the building. Fortunately for him, he didn't find any signs of recent activity during his search, and it did appear as though he was completely alone within the premises. Devin, feeling reassured, finally decided to enter the Dollar Food store to investigate its surroundings. However, as soon as he stepped inside the building, that's when he encountered something extremely alarming.
We're gonna go inside this old supermarket. There's some people coming out of the business here, and I'm still sneaking around the outside here, and I'm hearing footprints and I'm hearing footsteps inside the building. I'm trying to document this the best I can, but there are people inside, 100%. So right back there is the loading docks. That's where people are sleeping. That's where I saw the people back there. So I'm gonna try tiptoeing that direction. I just saw multiple people, like 3 other people hanging out by the loading docks. This is one of the only explorers that I've done where it feels like I'm really in the post-apocalyptic world right now, because there's just like a raider settlement behind the shopping center that I'm tiptoeing around. I just saw them walk behind me.
After noticing multiple groups of homeless individuals scattered throughout the building, Devin immediately began walking away and started distancing himself from their location. This decision was primarily influenced by the fact that he had already seen the group approaching him when he initially entered one of the stores, and now they were behind him again, ultimately leading him to suspect that they might actually be following him. This situation posed a significant risk, especially since he was alone and carrying his expensive camera, making him vulnerable to potential robbery or even an attack. Feeling extremely unsafe under these circumstances, Devin opted not to interact with the group and instead chose to leave that section altogether. He then made his way to the opposite side of the building to continue with his exploration. However, as he was walking through one of the stores, that's when he encountered something once again.
So now I'm outside. I'm on the opposite end. Over there is where the homeless people are encamped underneath in the loading docks, but I'm gonna head back to the shopping center with my super powerful flashlight so I could blind them before they could even make me out. So let's go do that. Fatback TVs. I hear you guys. You're chill though. Okay. I'm just exploring, all right?
You're just smoking.
I smell you before I heard you. Don't worry. You're good. Dude, that's actually a pretty chill spot up there.
I know, right? We're hotboxing. We're trying to hotbox.
I'll leave you guys to it. I saw you guys before, but you sketched me out a little bit. So, but it's cool to hear you guys are chill. We're gonna walk into the back rooms, see how far we can get there without being scared of somebody else.
Fortunately for Devin, the individuals he encountered inside the store were merely a group of teenagers who didn't pose any threats and were pretty friendly and respectful towards him. After this brief exchange, he decided to leave the group alone and started making his way out of the store to investigate the surrounding areas. However, as he was walking through that section, he suddenly noticed a police officer coming towards him.
How's it going? I'm just taking pictures. I saw some people in the building. They're on the rooftop of this one behind us. Yeah. And there's some people in the loading dock back there. You probably already know about some of that activity though.
Yeah, they've been in here, but the place just got bought out, so they're gonna get out of there soon.
That's good. I saw stuff online saying that the previous property owner didn't let police on the property or something. I saw that on a Facebook group.
Yeah, I saw that too. I don't know what the whole story is with that. But
okay.
They don't have the property anymore, so.
Okay, well that's good to see that these people in these neighborhoods won't have to deal with this crap.
Yeah, so they're here for now.
You're just doing rounds?
Yeah, I'm just checking to make sure.
Okay.
What's going on besides that.
Okay, yeah, it seems okay. I don't smell any fire or anything, just kids smoking weed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, well, good seeing you. Yeah, thanks. That was the chillest police encounter I've ever had my entire life. I don't even understand how that just went so well. And I'm behind this abandoned building. That's so weird. But anyway, he said that the building just got bought out, and he's just checking to see if there's no foul play going around here. And just like that, he's leaving. I feel safe now, at least. You guys just missed the cop that came back here. They're brain dead.
The officer, who was simply patrolling the area, engaged in a friendly conversation with Devin, mentioning that it was quite common for people to be living inside these stores. After this interaction, Devin continued to explore the building for almost the next 10 minutes, and he fortunately didn't encounter anything unusual again. By this point, Devin had explored almost every section of the mall and eventually decided to end his exploration. He then started making his way towards the exit and managed to leave the building without any harm. Nevertheless, Devin later reflected on the current and dilapidated state of the Erie Plaza, noting that for the foreseeable future and until its eventual demolition, explorers and visitors would almost certainly have a similar experience to his own and would most likely encounter homeless individuals seeking shelter within its decaying walls. If you've enjoyed the video so far, it would mean a lot if you considered subscribing. Over 95% of you watching haven't subscribed yet. Your support really helps the channel grow, and in return, I promise to keep bringing you guys the best quality content. Now let's get back to the video. In October of 2025, a YouTuber named Jose uploaded a rather terrifying video titled "Alone Inside a Cursed Abandoned House" to his channel, Jose Flores Terror. His channel is dedicated to paranormal investigation, and he often documents footage of his adventures exploring various haunted and abandoned locations across Latin America. In this particular video, Jose decided to explore and spend the night inside an abandoned house that is infamous for being one of the most haunted sites in the area. The building, which is located in a remote part of Mexico, is notoriously known as a hotspot for paranormal activity. The locals in the area believe the house is haunted by an evil spirit and have also reported some very bizarre occurrences within the building. These reports often include sightings of ghostly apparitions, hearing strange noises and footsteps, along with reports of seeing furniture and doors mysteriously moving on their own. But despite these chilling accounts, he remained completely undeterred and set out to investigate the truth behind these claims. As Jose began his exploration and entered the building, he initially walked around the premises to explore the surroundings, but also to ensure that no one else was currently inside the building. After thoroughly searching through the property, he fortunately found no homeless individuals or illegal squatters, nor did he find any signs indicating the building was haunted. Although he did mention the feeling of being watched and felt a bit on edge, he ultimately brushed off these events as paranoia and continued with his exploration. He then decided to prepare for his overnight stay and began setting up his camping equipment. However, as he was assembling his tent, that's when things started to take a turn for the worse for Jose.
Se acaba de escuchar como un golpe. Aquí y ahora sí voy a comenzar a armar la casa de campaña. No he podido ni siquiera terminar de armar la casa de campaña. Justamente apenas la estaba armando y se escucharon varios golpes por acá, por la parte de atrás, por eso dejé de armarla.
After hearing the loud banging noise, Jose, startled by the commotion, immediately got up and went towards its direction to investigate. During his brief but somewhat thorough investigation, he cautiously moved from one side of the building to another, but despite searching everywhere, he found nothing that could have caused those noises. But he did, however, find several bats flying around one of the rooms, and suspected that they might be responsible for the loud bangs. He dismissed the commotion for the time being, and eventually went inside the room to finish up with his tent. After finally setting up his tent, he decided to conduct a test using an app, where he would try to communicate and see if he would hear or see anything unusual again. During this test, he did get some readings, but nothing too conclusive to indicate the building was haunted. However, as he was starting to question the accuracy of this app, he started hearing the noises again, but this time they were louder and closer.
¿Estás hablando a través de la aplicación? Ay. Se acaba de escuchar un golpe por allá. Uy. La sensación de repente de este lugar se acaba de poner completamente diferente. Se siente, por así decirlo, como otra energía acá, como otra sensación. Todo el tiempo traigo los pelos de punta, una sensación de todo el tiempo como, no sé, como si hubiera algo más acá. Parece que hay alguien caminando en la parte de afuera. Uy. Y acaban de comenzar a ladrar los perros. No estaban ladrando ahorita. Uy. Hola. Uy. Se acaba de escuchar un golpe acá, no sé si golpearon la ventana.
With the footsteps and loud noises seemingly originating from one side of the building to another, Jose immediately started following them, trying his best to comprehend and figure out their source. But again, despite his efforts, he unfortunately found nothing that could have caused those footsteps. After yet another failed investigation, he had absolutely no idea who or what was responsible for the noises that seemed to originate from all corners of the building, and was even more confused as to why the dogs had suddenly woken up and started barking. As a result, he was thoroughly overwhelmed by everything that he was witnessing that night, and grew anxious trying to contemplate his next move. But despite his growing concern, he didn't leave or end his exploration and continued to investigate the building, regardless of any potential presence.
¡Hey! ¡Uy! ¿Quién anda aquí? Ay. Ay. Se acaba de escuchar que acaba de correr alguien por acá, como si hubiera corrido alguien. No sé si sean los murciélagos que estén provocando todos esos ruidos. Uy. Eso acaba de escucharse detrás de mí y estoy seguro que no fueron los murciélagos. Aunque están volando aquí, estoy segurísimo que no fueron los murciélagos.
After repeatedly hearing the noises, Jose realized that when he went towards the commotion, it would abruptly stop and would somehow originate from a completely different direction, and for some bizarre reason, would get even louder. With this in mind, he decided not to investigate or move towards the noises, as he felt it would amplify the commotion and would only make the situation worse. He then went inside his tent to comprehend the situation, and also to see if he would hear the noises again. For the next several minutes, he remained inside the tent, and he fortunately didn't hear anything unusual during this time. By this point, it was approaching midnight, and he ultimately decided to call it a night, as the situation had significantly calmed down by then. However, as he was sleeping, he was suddenly awakened by the sound of a woman crying outside the building.
Una con 13. Y se está escuchando como un lamento. Uy. Es un lamento que se escucha en la parte de afuera. Hoy. Se escucha como un lamento de una mujer. Una vez más, el detector de energía está completamente loco. Se acaba de escuchar otro golpe atrás. Voy a comenzar a recoger todas las cosas. Ya es bastante tarde.
After hearing a woman crying and another series of footsteps and loud bangs, Jose investigated the noises, but yet again it resulted in nothing. Following this failed investigation, and considering all his previous encounters, he was convinced that the house was haunted and was indeed possessed by an evil spirit. As a result, Jose ultimately lost interest in exploring or investigating the noises further and eventually decided to end his exploration and leave the building. He then began packing up his camping gear and eventually started making his way towards the exit. Luckily for him, he didn't encounter anything unusual again and was able to leave the forest and return to his car without any harm. It's still unclear who or what was responsible for the loud bangs and the noises, along with the mystery behind whether what Jose encountered that night was paranormal. Ultimately, it is up to you to decide whether this house in Mexico was truly haunted, or whether this whole situation was simply an elaborate hoax.